Alrighty. Well, welcome to week 2. We are super pumped about this Tuesday training tonight. Today is going to be about basically tangible to-dos. And we're just really excited to offer some specific training to help everybody be even more successful than you already are. So congratulations on completing last week's. Hopefully if you didn't catch the call from last week, you can go back and listen to that. Also, all of the homework is posted on our Gold Mastermind group. So if you haven't had a chance to go do that, or maybe you just learned about this training happening, go back and do that. There's still plenty of time. Just because maybe you didn't get all of it done, or you only got a little bit of it done, that doesn't mean that you can't go back and finish it, okay? This is not like just check it off the list and then one and done. This is things that you're going to be doing and implementing as part of who you are in your business, right? So anyways, go back and check out those things that we had you guys do. It included like printing out your Facebook friends list, inviting your teammates to this training. Okay, don't just expect that because you posted it on a team page or a team thread once that they're going to remember. Just private message and invite them. Everybody was going to make a post about the Diamond Destination or the Emerald Extravaganza trip that you saw people attending, or maybe it's Leaders Retreat, whatever that looks like for you. You want to let your network know. So we talked about that last week. Carissa had some great advice about anybody that in your organization or in your level ones, really, probably, that haven't ordered in 6 months or more. Those are easy signups, guys. They've already said yes to Plexus once. So going back through and filtering through, there's still time in the month to do that. We have dollar signups. It's no brainer. Go back through those people. I've actually had several people reach out to me that want to get restarted. I didn't even reach out to me first. So go do that, guys, and help them get restarted. We talked about finding out who is willing to make a post or host an event. Let you host an event for them. One little idea that I saw that was such a great idea that I'm going to be implementing personally in the month of October is finding out who of my level ones is willing to let me host a little event for them online. And then I will either do a drawing, or depending on how many people say yes, I'm going to be gifting them a bottle of the new greens for saying yes to that. So sometimes it's just coming up with those little creative ideas to encourage more people to say yes, right? And then obviously 369 incentive, you can make bank this month, especially if you're a fast starter, for adding 369 in personally sponsored level ones this month. So maximize that, guys. There's really nothing better than helping people get started on their Plexus journey, whether that's for health or business or both. So, okay, so we want to help you maximize your month, okay? September is the end of quarter 3, and we're also prepping for quarter 4, okay? One thing that I was thinking about this morning, I was on the elliptical for about 20 minutes, and I was thinking about, I don't know, I'm such a visual person, and I always visualize my Plexus journey to like running a race, or maybe I would equate it to a marathon. And I was just nursing my baby and putting her down for bed, and I was thinking how our Plexus journey is like going on a journey up a mountain, okay? The pinnacle is whatever you set your goal to be, okay? For me personally, it was diamond, okay? But guess what? There's a whole nother mountain range. So I'm climbing another mountain on my re-entry, okay? And along your journey, and again, it's not a race, but along your journey, you're gonna have challenges. You're going to have, some tough spots. You may have a little plateau season. You may have like an upward trajectory where you just like, plummet upwards, right? You may have a space in your journey where some people on your team, they stall out or they completely tap out, right? And so that's part of the journey. But one thing I was thinking about was pacing. And everybody has a specific pace. My pace was fast. I was like in urgency mode. When I caught the vision after I went silver, it was, okay, I want to go emerald because I saw time freedom and financial freedom. When I saw the 6-figure income, the opportunity to get out of debt. I don't know that at that point we were thinking of him retiring from his current job, but those were the things we were starting to think about, like, wow, this is a gift of an opportunity. And if we really press into this opportunity, it can gift our family in big ways. So we had big belief I would say once I went silver, then like the world opened up to me, and so in light of like, I want to take advantage of this opportunity. And so my pace was fast, like, and really, I stalled out after I went emerald for a few months, and I had some leadership things I had to grow in. And then, so my whole journey from silver to diamond was about 2.5 years. Now, not everybody is choosing a fast pace, and some people go even faster than that, much faster. And some people, I met Brittany Howard in Mexico, and she started Plexus in 2013, but she was just sharing her story, how she had to grow a network. When she started Plexus, she had to grow friends. And then she had to grow her Plexus team, right? And grow her influence and grow her leadership. And so, is that too long to go diamond? No. If we think of the long game here, consider your pace and where you're at. But what we want to be equipping you with is to really help get you set up for a successful quarter 4, so that you have some systems in place in your life, in your home, in your business, so that things can run smoothly. And, there's the baseline, like you're running your marathon, and maybe you're doing like a 10-12 minute mile, right? And maybe you do that for miles and miles and miles, but there may be a space in that marathon for a specific reason, for a specific goal, where you will be like, you know what? I'm going to do some 6 to 8 minute miles, and we're going to pick up the pace. we're going to gun it a little bit more. And so I do feel like in our Plexus journey, there's seasons where we have like kind of like maintenance mode, or like, 10 to 12 minute mile pace, and you're signing 3 ambassadors per month, and you're helping one go silver, and that's your basic pace. But then there's times when we amp up the pace, right? And so I want to encourage you guys, as you're heading into quarter 4, and as you evaluate your own business and your own personal IPA and what you're doing on a daily basis, evaluate that to see, what I'm doing, I didn't say that right, is what I'm doing enough to hit my goal, whatever that is. So if you're looking at October and you're thinking, okay, this is going to be a rank up month for me, you have to be willing to increase your pace. And that may look like more Plexus hours, more time spent in intentional income producing activities, right? And so I just want to encourage you to pick your pace and stick with it. Obviously, you don't want to pick a pace that's so breakneck speed that you burn out, right? So you need to be careful of that. But also, there's times when you have to you need to be in a push season. There was 3 times over the course of my journey of 2.5 years where I intentionally put myself into a push season. I personally sponsored more people than I'd ever sponsored before. I personally developed more people than I ever developed before. And when I did that, that's when business builders joined my team. It wasn't even necessarily the people that I was signing right then, but people within my team or new people that saw what we were doing. It was like this magnetic attraction. People just decided to do it. So there is definitely benefit there. So anyways, I just wanted to share a little bit of that in light of the marathon analogy, and just being committed to the long game. Guys, think about in 10 years, where will you be? Plexus will be, probably well past the $1 billion mark in business, right? And also Plexus will be a household name by then. And so when we think about your personal network, who do you want telling your mom and your sisters and your family and your friends about Plexus? I mean, we want to be the ones, right? And so just be thinking the long game, right? And that within that long game, you're going to have some push seasons, and you're going to gun it for specific reasons. So, okay, let me check my notes real quick. So we're going to talk about how to finish strong and how to end this month. I call this magic week, because guys, like a few days in network marketing or a week in network marketing, that's like months in other businesses, right? Mm-hmm. That's when all of the conversations that you've had throughout the month, or throughout the past 90 days or the past 2 years come into fruition, okay, the last couple days of the month. So if you're feeling like, I'm farther away from my goal than I thought I would be at this point, now's not the time to tap out. Now's the time to press in, create some more conversations, be the sparkler in those, be the initiator. Remember, leaders initiate. You don't just sit back and wait for things to happen. That's never happened for me. So I don't know about you. I think maybe only to unicorns. That happens. You have to take the chair challenge, guys. On months that I have decided to rank up, I've sat in a chair for a lot of hours. Okay, and that's really what it takes. Maybe for you, you can walk and voice message and things like that. That's great, but just keep that in mind. I'm going to actually go ahead and turn it over, and then we'll probably, well, at the end, we'll pop back on, and I have a few things, but I know the girls have some specific training that they wanted to share about, and I don't want to hog all the time. So I'm going to turn it over to Carissa, and she is going to share with us. Are you on here, Carissa?
Yes, I'm on. Hello.
Oh. All right, take it away, sister.
Okay. And I'm just so pleased to announce a praise report that I am feeling pretty much mostly recovered from the Rona. So
yay!
For natural antibodies heading into the fall and winter, I feel invincible. And I am kind of doing what y'all are having to do, which is coming out of a 10-day season, 10 days where I was totally out of our routine. My kids were not at school. That puts me in such a funk. So I'm right here with you guys in the struggle of the juggle, as Megan calls it. So a couple things that I want to chat with you about. The first one, please don't hear this as a cliche, because I know we talk about it all the time in Plexus, but belief. We were chatting today, me, Megan, and Brenda, about how there's so much dreaming that takes place when you start to see the vision in Plexus. And that's wonderful. Like for me, Plexus taught me how to dream. It was the first time in my life that I had considered having disposable income to the point where we could go, who are we going to bless with this? What are we going to create with this? What kind of impact are we going to have with this? So dreaming is a huge part of this, and it kind of depends personality to personality. I see sometimes people do a lot of wishing and dreaming and hoping, and that is different than conviction. That is different than faith backed by action. So I just want to put a little challenge out there. I'm not speaking to anyone specific, but if this speaks to you, then let it convict you that if you're the type to kind of set a goal, in air quotes, set a goal, and then as you start to see that the weeks are flying by and you're not really anywhere near that goal, so you just kind of go, well, that'd be great, but not going to hit that. I just want to challenge you to kind of rethink how you start to set goals and start to really put some conviction and belief behind the things you say you're going to do. And that might mean, scaling it back to something that is honestly, truly doable in your life. And that is okay. There's no shame in that. But the four of us want to challenge you to create a goal that you legitimately believe you are going to make happen. And we joked about this. We'll talk about it more next week, but when you've got that dream board, you've got that vision board, those things in your life that you're like, that is the kind of impact I want to have. That is the thing I want to create. That's the thing I want to achieve, or that's the blessing I want for my family. We don't want it to be a wishing and hoping board. We want it to be a belief backed by action board list of things. So, and I know the others are going to chat about that some too, but please just let this convict you, if it needs to, that you have to believe that the thing you're going after, you're gonna get there. You're gonna make it happen. Okay, one quick little story. It's a little tangent, but today my daughter tried a fortune cookie for the first time at school, and she was telling me about it, and she said, and Mom, my fortune was, the aim is useless without the way. And I thought about it for a minute, and I said, Elsa, I disagree. I say, when you have the aim, you make the way. Okay, so I say the way is useless without the aim. We can tell you all these tangible to-dos tonight, but you have to believe it is possible and that you're going to make it happen. So I told my daughter, no, I disagree. I believe you have that sincere aim, that destination in mind, and you make the way. Okay, so Megan asked me to talk about something I shared on her Motivation Monday a couple of weeks ago, and that is creating boundaries that set you up to deliver on what you say you're going to do. So fun little anecdote. When I started Plexus 7 years ago, I got teased mercilessly by my sideline power partners because I had a dumb phone. I have a smartphone now, but I worked my business from my computer while my kids were napping and after they went to bed. And I had just insane focus on that because I didn't have the option to check little notifications and do little things in the nooks and crannies throughout my day. So I started my journey really differently than a lot of you probably did, and then a lot of other jewels and diamonds probably did. But I love that it set me up in a really good way, because it set me up that when it was time to do certain Plexus activities, I was focused on that. So I'm not saying that you need to ditch your smartphone, but here is some wisdom that I have to pass along to you about this. We all have all the Plexus activities that can move the needle forward for us. And I like to kind of mentally categorize them into the ones that maybe are a little more draining to me or require a lot more like focused attention. And then the ones that I think are really fun and easy. And then the ones that are kind of neutral. And some of this comes from Brooke Hemingway too, because I know we've both been to a lot of her trainings. And I like to do those. I'm so careful with wording. I don't like to call things hard and stuff, because then I feel like that just, affects my mindset about them. But we'll just say the ones that require more effort, whatever they are for you. I think it's really important that those get done during protected Plexus time, and that they get done early in the day. So for me, that means that when I have my time set aside for Plexus, whether that's 1 hour that day or 3 or 4 hours that day, I am figuring out what's going to move the needle forward and what requires the most mental effort for me. And I'm getting those things done in that protected Plexus time. And then I like to finish it off with some of the fun or neutral things. And then everything else that can be reactionary gets to fit into the nooks and crannies throughout the day. So sending out messages or voice messages or reach outs, or creating video content, or maybe going live to social media, or maybe getting on the phone with a new ambassador that I'm trying to help get launched. Those are things that for me require a lot of mental effort, and they require focus. So I'm going to get those things done during protected Plexus time. And then as my day goes on and I get little chances in the nooks and crannies, I can pop open my messenger. Oh, look, so-and-so wrote back. That is easy for me, and that is reactionary and fun. That can fit in the nooks and crannies. So I want to pass that along to you. The other thing that I learned is that protected Plexus hours are not just going to appear on a silver platter in my life. Those of you who know a little bit about my story, I've got 5 children. Their ages 9, 7, 5, 2, and 1. And I have a husband who's a medical resident. And medical residents work at weird times. I never know when I can count on support from my husband here at home. So what that's taught me is I have to create my own stability. I have to create my own routines. I have to create my own support systems that carve out that protected time for me. And I have to be pretty ruthless about sticking to that schedule. Let me pull in another Brooke Hemingway quote here. She says, "Success is scheduled, period." Okay, and I love that, because I think sometimes we fall back on our personalities and we say, I'm just more of a fly by the seat of my pants person. Okay, that doesn't make you a bad person, but it does. I'm just telling you the truth, that protected Plexus time is not going to present itself on a silver platter to you. So if you want to keep flying by the seat of your pants, then just prepare that protected Plexus time will not be part of your consistent daily life. So we have got to create the structures and create the consistency and create the support systems. So all of that's going to come back to having that meeting with your shareholders, with your family, and communicating with the people that help you run your household about what you need. I have to have a conversation with Chris, seems like every week, to say, okay, here's what I am aiming for in Plexus this week, and here's what I need. I need this much time each day, or I need this much help with these household jobs, or I need to set aside these evenings where, you know, we're not just doing hangout time. So let me look and see if I haven't left anything out. Yes, okay. One of my favorite dudes is a guy named Thomas Soule. I don't know how many of you are familiar with him, but he's 90 years old. He's like a national treasure. May he live forever, because he's just awesome. He's into the political and economic space. But one thing I love about him is he says, sweeping visionaries fail to understand there are no solutions without trade-offs. And we are visionaries, aren't we? We have huge dreams for Plexus and for the impact we're going to have. But we can be visionaries and also be the kind of people that understand we can't create solutions unless we understand that there are trade-offs. So like today, I had a very tangible moment where I went, okay, it's my kid's quiet hour. I would like to get a workout in, but I'm also really sleepy because I'm recovering from coronavirus. And I want to go, I can take a nap and figure out where to fit that workout in at some point today, right? I'm not embracing the truth of trade-offs. And since I was preparing to talk about this tonight, I thought of Thomas Soule. I thought, there are not solutions without trade-offs. That workout is not going to magically get done. Now I'm all for resting if your body needs rest, but I could tell that I could take it or leave it. You know what I mean? So I popped a MetaBurn. I did the workout, and I'm glad I did. I'm really glad I did. Okay. So last thing we want to talk about. It's not related to your protected plexus time and your boundaries and sticking to what you say you're going to do. But something I have noticed, and I've given this feedback to my team some in the last couple of weeks, is I think that in our effort to be like the genuine, non-sleazy salesperson, I mean, I'm all about that. That's how we want to run our businesses. But we post and we reach out and we dance around asking for the sale. And so I want to challenge everybody that there's a way to boldly close deals on a consistent basis without it compromising the integrity that you're trying to have as you operate your business. And so that needs to be happening in our posts. It needs to be happening in our one-on-one conversations. If you feel like, man, I am putting that time in, I'm doing the actions, but it's been a slow month, I haven't signed anybody up, I would challenge you, maybe you need to ask for the sale. Maybe someone is clicking through your stories and they're digging what you're putting out there. And then they click off that last one and it magically puts them on someone else's stories and you have yet to ask for the sale. So I really want to challenge and encourage us all. Be putting our posts, our content out there, but when you get to the end, close that deal. Maybe that's some sort of engagement tool in your stories that prompts them to touch the screen and engage and ask you. Or maybe, I see Jordan Roddenberry do this all the time. She's so good about it. She's so good about, throwing her engaging stuff out there. And then there's a screen with like, here's my top 3 favorite welcome packs, like showing them what to buy, what step to take next. So not just in your posts, but also in your one-on-one conversations. One of the homeworks for tonight, for this week, is going to be some bold reach outs to leaders in your life about doing this business with you. And same deal, we're not going to just dance around the topic. We're going to voice message those people and say, I think Megan used this example last week. I love it. This example that Jessica Heffley gave us, to say, hey, you are amazing. And I love what I do. And I think you'd be so good at it. And hey, I'm never going to make it awkward if it's not for you, or if you're not interested right now, but I had to tell you, you would be amazing at this. It is so fun. You know, and tell them what you're working for. I'm working for a trip to Disney World this quarter, and I think it'd be so fun for you to come with me. So that's part of our homework, is we're going to challenge everybody to do 3 to 5 of those. And if you can surpass that, great. I would say at least 3 to 5 bold business reach outs where you are fearlessly asking them to do this with you. All right, Megan, I'm going to kick it back to you. What to say? Oh, someone said, can you give example of what to say to close? Yes, and I can even put kind of my favorite example in our group. I'll make a little note to myself. But typically what I do is, after I've had a conversation with them about, you know, what their needs are and why they reached out to me or what caught their eye, then I always come back and say, hey, hey, sorry, it's been a few days since I've checked in on you. I'm helping get people signed up today. Our $1 memberships are over in 3 days. I don't want you to miss out. You ready to go? I mean, it's just those simple, like, hey, so you ready to do this? That's just, I think, the thing that a lot of people are like dancing around saying. So I have like a million little one-liners where I come back and say, all right, let's get you started. I mean, seriously, just like, okay, let's get you started. Your next step is go here, click and roll. So.
Yeah, that's great. I do the same thing. I literally say, hey, I'm helping people get started, get their orders in tonight. Would you like me to help you with yours also? Mm-hmm. It's really simple. So yes. Okay, Danielle did have a question about when we were pushing for Jewel rank, how many hours a day did we actively work? She works full time. She's very, very busy. So I don't know if you want to answer this right now. Okay.
I'm really thankful you asked that, because I had that written down to talk about. So I think it's important to understand that a Jewel rank is a high level of success. So when I went Emerald, Sapphire, and Diamond, what that meant for my family was I was able to put my husband through medical school and pay in cash every month. And I had 3 more babies during that time. So our Plexus income was supporting a family of 7 and putting my husband through medical school. That's a high level of success. And that means a high level of effort and a high level of commitment. And so I think a lot of the time when people say, oh, if pushing for Jewel rank, how much do I have to work? I'm thinking, well, you could be working 9 to 10 hours a day at McDonald's, or you could be working 4 to 5 hours a day at a high level of success. So when I was building to Emerald my first year, I spent 2 diligent hours every afternoon on my computer, and then usually 2 to 3 more hours after my kids went to bed, for a total of 4 to 5 hours a day. And some people at my team balked at that, but I was like, that's way better than a normal full-time job. And here I am, I built to a 6-figure income doing that. So I'm all about working smarter, not harder. If you can find ways to be more efficient, great. But don't back away from putting in the time, because it is so worth it, like Megan said earlier.
Yes, so agree. All right, we are going to transition over. Amy Booker, are you able to unmute? I know she's traveling. She was going to pull over. Let me see if I can find her. She was going to share a little bit about when she went Ruby and a meeting that she had with her family, and also about another little thing about fighting for your rank. Amy, are you able to? I see you.
Can you see me and hear me?
Yep.
Okay, I'm in my car. So picking my boy up from a really late soccer game. Okay, so yes, Megan asked if I would share about having a meeting with our shareholders, and this memory always comes up in my Facebook feed every year, because it was when we were on our family vacation. We were on this little camp on this little baby island in Rangeley, Maine, and we were sitting around this little camp table, and that was the very first time that I caught the vision of what could be. because I never started this business. I never started this for the business. I started it for my husband because he was so chronically sick. You know, I got a taste of what could be when I went silver, when I went gold, when I went senior gold. And it was when I hit the ruby rank that it just hit me like, whoa, this could really be something. And this could really be big for our family. But up until that point, I was a nooks and cranny girl, right? And so just fitting it here and there, doing, you know, a little bit here, a little bit there, you know, stuff in the morning, whatever. But what that was, it ended up me being on my phone all the time, right? And it was becoming not a blessing to my family. They were getting frustrated. And I was feeling frustrated and stressed in the fact that I was just, there was no structure. I didn't feel like I had structure, and I like structure, and I homeschooled my kids. We have 4 kids. And so, and the whole point of even doing this is to be a blessing to my family. And so, and also I wanted the kids to know that when I'm on my phone, I'm not like playing like Candy Crush, and I'm not like scrolling like I was a waitress for 7 years. I wanted the kids to know that when mom's on her phone for a couple of hours or 30 minutes or whatever, that I'm making what I would bring home in, you know, a week of waitressing, and I had to leave you every night for waitressing. I shut down the restaurant. You know, I did supper and the closing shift. And so, but you kids can't see that, right? They see me bring home my tips in my apron. So they see the tangible money that I make as a waitress, but with Plexus, all they see is mom on her phone or her computer. And so first I talked to Kev about it, and I just said, I think that this is something that I think that I could do this, and I think that I could go Emerald. But do I even have your blessing on this? And if I do, then we need to meet as a family, and I need you to be on board with me. And I need you to explain to the kids what's going on here, and that we're a team and we're a family while we're doing this. And also we set hours. Like Krista was saying, protected business hours and boundaries. And kind of Kevin and I talked them over and established them, and then we shared them with the kids around the camp table at camp. And Kevin said to the kids, he's like, you know, Dad, Mom want you to know that, you know, like they told the kids what we made. Like I said, Kevin said, this is what your mom makes, you know, and you don't see that because she's not waitressing and she's not like showing her cash tips when she comes home, but like, this is what this is providing for our family. And he listed it, you know, and he said, so we're just talking about, you know, when we come home from vacation, when we start school in the fall, like mom's going to start getting up at, I think it was like a couple hours in the morning before we started school, mom's going to start getting up at 5 or 6, and she's going to do a couple of hours of Plexus on her phone or the computer in the morning. And so when you get up and you see her working, like she's working, she's not playing, she's working. And what she's doing is providing this, and this for our family. And so like it just got us kind of all on board together, and it helped the kids understand more and have helped them kind of be a part of it too. And then they know that whenever I rank up, I always give them cash. So whenever I hit a rank, like when I hit Emerald, I gave them each $100, which I think is quite generous of me. And so they're excited for when they go to Sapphire. But just to bring the whole family in and to bring them all on board together. Do you know what I mean? And so like those open lines of communication, I think are so important. Just those open lines of like, this is what we're fighting for. We're fighting for it together. Do I have your blessing? And do I have your support? And this is what it's going to look like. And sometimes it's going to look a little different, but Kevin knows we're wicked early to bed people. So I'm exhausted right now, but like Kevin knows the last day of the month, I always stay up till midnight. I stay up until, if only one person on my team is fighting for something, I stay up and just to be with them and to help them in any way that I can. Little things like that, but always open lines of communication. Does that make sense? Is that good, Megan?
Yes, no, that's great. And you know, I was looking through, no, I think that's so important. And I think that communication clears up so much. And also I think it encourages like family team as well with all of that.
Did you want me to talk about fighting for my rank too? Is that the other thing you wanted me to talk about? No, that's fine.
Towards the end of the month, yeah.
Okay, so I hit Emerald, I think 3 years ago, I think it was, and I hit it 1 month, I fought for it the next month, and then I didn't re-rank for an entire year. Okay, and then I did a Momentum Makers course with Brooke and Emily, and Emily talked about when she pushed for her husband to go Emerald, she had to fight for his rank for 18 months. And she's like, every single month I had to fight for that stinking rank. And every single month she's like, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to fight for it because it does something for your psyche and it does something for your mentality that if you don't hit it, it's so easy just to slip back, right? And so after that had never even crossed my mind, like to fight for it, like I always worked hard, but not to like say I'm going to hit it. And so when I re-ranked Emerald again for the second time, when I re-ranked it, I said, I will forever fight for my rank. I will never go back. And my team knows every month I fight for my rank. And so one of the months I was like at 1,200 points, 1,250 points on the 28th. And I was like, oh my word, okay. And so, I mean, it was intense, but we did it. And then one month I was tired and I was like, you know what? It's not a big deal. I've already earned Mexico. And Kevin razzed me. He's like, that's going to tick you off if you don't fight for it. And I was like, you're right. Or he's like, you're going to fight for it. And I was like, I don't know. I'm just not feeling it. And if I do fight for it, that means we can't do this, this, and this because it was the weekend, And so I was like, if you're fine with us not being able to do this, this, and this, then I might think about it, And so he's like, it's going to bug you. And so I was like, you're right. It will bug me. And so I fought for it. And so, but that, like, it is true. It's a mental thing for me. And I also want my team to see, well, Amy fights for her rank every month, so I can fight for mine. And Amy's fought for these crazy point gaps, so I can too. And if I miss it, I'm not going to die. I'm going to be more disappointed in myself if I didn't even fight for it. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, so much truth. Yes, thank you for sharing that. I just feel like it helps to hear different people's perspectives, different people's stories. And I know it's maybe a little bit disjointed on this call, but it is contributing to your perspective, to your just to your skill set in working your business. So we're going to thank you, Amy, for sharing. And we're going to move to Brenda because she has some practical ideas for us. So I'm really excited to hear from her as well.
Well, I have just loved hearing from everyone. We could just like stop now and just skip my part because this was so good. I'll try to just be pretty fast. But Amy, I want to say that was so inspiring to just think about that, fighting for your rank, because I'm just thinking of all the skills you develop doing that alone. You said how it affects your mentality, but think of all the ways you learn to continue growing as a leader, reaching out to your team. That's where my thoughts went. Wow, you're getting good at this, girl. You're going to go all the way. Thanks for sharing that. Okay, so just I'll try to keep this short, but because there's so much to it. So I'll just say right now, you guys can message me after with questions because I'm going to run through this pretty quickly. But what I want to say is I want this for you. I want you guys to understand that when Chris was talking about belief, we wish we could pass our belief to you, but we can't. But it's because we want this so much for you that we are taking time to share this. Another thing Chris has said about this is a high achieving income. It takes effort and work. You've probably heard people say how diamonds make as much as a brain surgeon. One time Delvin and I are like, what is that even? So we went and Googled it, and we actually make more than what Google says an average brain surgeon makes. So just there's that perspective for you. How long did they have to go to school? What all they have to go through? And if you can do it in 2 or 3, 4, 5 years, even from home, still living your life, it's amazing. Okay, so I'm going to move past some of the belief stuff I was going to talk about because Chris covered that so well. But I want to say what she said about trade-offs. I often tell my team, freedom doesn't come without sacrifice. And some people don't like to use the word sacrifice when you talk about working your Plexus business because it sounds maybe a little bit negative. But for me, it always meant what it meant. I know what my goal is. Want this freedom, but I'm not going to get it without some sacrifice. And so for me, that meant really disciplining myself in my hours and my daily schedule, my routine, whatever that was. And I'm looking on here and seeing all these different people, different lifestyles. I see Bonnie, that's a mom of 8. She's a grandma now taking care of babies. I see Chris, or I did see her. She's disappeared now. She has 7 or 8. I see Lisa, Tracy, they have special needs. I see Michelle, who's an empty nester. I see another Michelle, who's a single gal. There's so many of you who have different lifestyles. So what I'm going to share, I hope, is something you guys can still apply to your life, even though as a mom of 11, I've had to develop very specific routines to get everything done. Okay. So I want to talk to you a little bit about organizing your life and how that can translate down to organizing your plexus business. For me, I have to be organized for my brain, just so that some things don't fall through the cracks. I like routine organization, but I also need to be a little bit flexible, because even though I have a husband that works from home, that doesn't mean every day looks the same. In fact, it probably looks more than ever, that every day is different. I have to be ready to drop something and take care of whatever at any given moment because of our other things we have going here. So I would say my biggest tip is learning to say no to things that do not benefit your family's vision. Just learn to say no. You don't have to go to all the things and run around and do all this stuff. And meanwhile, you are not getting done what needs to be done that your family has already decided is your vision. Now, Delvin and I decided many years ago, I had to learn to do that just as a stay-at-home homeschool mom. If I was going to, the vision we had for raising our children, if I was going to be able to do that, we had to learn to say no to a lot of extracurricular things. And we tried things, but we saw how it was eating away at what our vision was for our family. And we had to learn to say no to some of those things. So just don't feel bad. You don't have to say yes to everybody that asks you to do everything. They aren't going to be the ones getting you to diamond. So some of my practical tips for you to work out this can be your daily, for me, it's everything. On my computer, my phone, I have my files where everything goes. And if you don't have all this stuff at your fingertips, when someone is interested in joining, you're scrambling to find the information. You come across someone with a specific health issue, you're scrambling to find what you want to send them. That is a time waster. And so getting your information at your fingertips in files, on your phone, your computer is invaluable. And organize and mark them well so that when you search or whatever, you can find what you need to find pretty quickly. For me, I have scripts like crazy in my files so that I can just find a script to fit the occasion and then, adjust it a little bit to make it personalized for that person. I have testimonies I can look up at any time. I have all my potentials listed with notes beside them of things we've maybe talked about in the past. One gal who's like, yeah, I want to try this after I have my baby because my husband doesn't want me to start during my pregnancy. And so I have her due date. I know when she's going to be ready to try this. In my files, I have my menu schedule. And that is like my lifesaver, to know every week what I have on for meals. You moms of many, if you aren't doing that, you are wasting so much time because it's a big deal. Get that menu written out. I have a 2-week menu at a time, and then I can rotate things as needed, but that's what I get my grocery list off of. Make sure you have everything, get that in place. I have a file for just ideas to post because sometimes I'm not feeling inspired. I try to do a daily post. I'm doing Instagram, I'm doing Facebook. I have different, what's the word you call it, kind of branding purposes for each. And so I save all those things in a file. You all know how to save in Facebook too. I'm sure you have your categories, save this post. And I have a post for engaging, a category for engaging posts, a category for testimonies, a category for, so when I'm like, hey, I feel like it's been a while since I've had engagement on my wall, I go look for my engaging posts and throw one out there. The other brain saver for me is my phone reminders app. That is my brain. So I have a Samsung and it's just the reminders app that came with it. So I don't have any idea what your all's iPhones look like. I get lost when I pick up one of those things, but there's so many out there. Just find one that's simple. You just need simple, but I have everything in there. That's where my follow-ups are. And you can set it for, like, I have a new person that just joined. So I set the follow-up for twice a week. And then I move it to weekly. Then I move it to monthly eventually as that person progresses in their journey. But for an example, I have my prayer list every morning in my reminders app. So it buzzes at me and I remember to pray for these specific prayer requests. I have a reminder when to post, and a thought that I had last night that I want to post in the morning. That's in my reminder, and it's going to buzz at me in the morning. We have a DMV appointment tomorrow morning. I'm literally reading you guys my reminder app. I have a reminder on here to let the dogs out, to check my PERC reports, to mention something that I just thought I want to mention to Megan after this. I seriously put some of that stuff in here because it goes out of your brain. And what you have in your hand all the time, pretty much, your phone. And so I don't have to feel stressed, like overwhelmed, I'm not getting this done. What did I forget? It's here and it's my brain. So that has just been one of my biggest secrets for remembering everything. I will even, like for tonight's Zoom, I had 2 reminders. It was on my mind all day, but I still had a reminder so that when I'm, this evening I'm sitting down with the family and we're chatting and everything, I could lose track of time. And so that was in my reminder. So homework time. What really hit you as something like, oh, ding, 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 that's something I could do? Or what did you write down with an exclamation point or underlined? That is your homework. I'm going to let you choose which action item you're going to do, because some of the stuff I skipped here that I was going to share in the beginning about belief is sacrificial action was kind of a subject I was going to talk on and didn't. But putting this belief into action, like Megan said, is where it's at. And so I would like to, I'd love just to even hear from you. If you want to message me and just say, hey, this is the thing I've decided I want to do to be more organized. Can you tell me a little bit more about it? I have a question about this. Feel free to do that, because it's a freedom to have all this stuff organized so you aren't feeling stressed and overwhelmed. That's it, Megan.
Thank you for sharing that. And I know a lot of us have a lot going on. I talk to our team a lot about, like, Plexus is not the only thing we do. Like, we have a large family. We homeschool our kids. We have everybody here all the time with us, pretty much. We have a home of hospitality. We have a lot of people over on a monthly basis. We are active in our church where we love to serve. And so, the kids are involved in sports. There's just a lot going on. And so whatever we can do to help systems run smoothly. And Brenda and I were talking before the call, and she mentioned menu planning. I was like, oh my word. Like, I sometimes forget some people, or maybe a lot of you don't have some of those systems set up, some of those life systems that free up bandwidth and time to help things run smoothly. And I do feel like one blessing for me when I came into Plexus, I had just had our baby number 5. Life was very full, but I do feel like at that point in my motherhood journey, I had some systems in place. I wasn't like learning. I mean, it's always a learning curve, right? Parenting is, but I felt like some systems were established. Like, we had kind of a system for child training. We had some menu planning, brain in a binder. Some of that stuff I had already learned, not that I had mastered it, but that I had some of those baseline systems in place. So if you're feeling like overwhelmed and really stressed out and like, oh my word, how do I get it all done? It's possible to get it done, but you may just need to take a step back and figure out how to organize your life. Get yourself some Post-it notes, or if you're a phone organizational person, like Brenda was talking about, get your brain on paper or in your phone or something, so that whatever system that you use, so that you can free up some more space in your life and you can have peace, even though there's a lot going on in your life. So Justin, do you want to share a little bit now?
Yes, I got a few things. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Justin. I have a little bit more bass in my voice than most of the people on this call, but I am a Diamond ambassador, and I'm excited to be here with you guys. We have 67. There was a few more earlier on here. That's exciting to me, because a lot of this business, really success in general in any area of life, has a lot to do with showing up. Mm-hmm. You have to put yourself in position to succeed. It's the same way in sports. It's the same way in investments. It's the same way in relationships. It's the same way in Plexus. It's the same way in exercise. If you show up at the gym, you will exercise. So you are here. You're showing up. You've showed up. So congratulations to you. You've made the first step to success. Now, one thing, I'm going to start off, guys, something Brenda had mentioned caused me to remember something that I did that actually really spiked my productivity in my Plexus business in the last, I don't know, 2 months. I turned all notifications off of my phone. I have 0 notifications on my phone. I have a smartphone. I'm pretty sure I deactivated everything, and now I have a smartphone that's actually a dumb phone. So I've dumb phoned my smartphone. I get 0 notifications, and one thing is it has helped me to focus. Because when I get going on something, if something shiny happens over to the right, I get easily distracted. Whether it's a post, whether it's a comment, it doesn't really matter. I'm easily distracted, and that's one of the dangers of social media. It's one of the dangers of technology. I think technology, social media, all these things are wonderful if you use them. When they start using you and start using your time, we've got a problem. So I turned off all the notifications, and it has helped me to stay focused. When I sit down to work, I can just do what I'm sitting down to do. And that has helped me to sign several level 1s this month because I'm more focused when I'm on a call with somebody. I'm not in 17 different places at once. So I just signed my 5th level 1 tonight. Actually, Megan did, because I was in an Amish community and I couldn't get Wi-Fi. I was at a soccer game, so I had to get all the guys' information. I say, hey, I can't get on. Can you sign this guy up? So
this is how we've worked, though,
we
guys.
just make it work. Whatever.
Together.
There is no standard in our life. We just make things work. So, but turning off the notifications really helped me to stay focused on the task at hand. That might not be for everybody, but it's something that's very practical that worked for me. Now, one thing I want to say about Plexus and network marketing is network marketing, this sort of a business opportunity that we have, is really the great equalizer. Like, this sort of an opportunity levels the playing field. You don't have, like, this sort of an opportunity doesn't care about your background.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't care what color you are. It doesn't care how you vote. It doesn't care who you sleep with. It doesn't care if you've gone to college. It doesn't care if you have a doctorate's degree. It doesn't care. This opportunity levels the playing field. How do I know that? Because people from every single background have succeeded in network marketing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there are no excuses, quite honestly. Like, this opportunity is huge. It's for everyone. It doesn't matter how many kids you have. It doesn't matter how many kids you don't have. It doesn't matter. Like, none of that matters in this business if we take action. That's the key, though. We have to take action. I'm a guy. I would be like, maybe the only guy on this call? I don't know. Maybe. It doesn't matter. Like, honestly, it doesn't matter. I have like a whole network I can reach out to. So background, any of that stuff, education is a non-factor in this business opportunity. And the thing is, though, you have to take advantage of the opportunity, though. It's not just going to come to you. It's not just going to show up. People are probably not going to come line up outside your house.
Karen's husband's on, so you're not alone.
Yes, there's 2 of us, 2%. So, so the thing is this is an amazing opportunity. Network marketing is the great equalizer. Brenda was talking about they're making more than a brain surgeon. Like, what other opportunities would give us this will do that for us? This is a pretty amazing thing. The thing is, though, we have to take ownership of this opportunity. That means we're going to have to take ownership of our time. That means we're going to have to take ownership of, and like Brenda was saying, say no to things. That's something I'm learning to do. I won't share it here, but I am horrible at that, but I'm learning. But we have to take ownership of this business opportunity that we have. And the thing is, there was a girl that went Emerald today.
Yeah.
In 4.5 months.
I love seeing that.
Guys, the market is not saturated, right? Like, this opportunity is still alive and well. 4.5 months. come on. We just end the call right there. Just end it. That's it. That's all you need to know. Like, what more do you need to know, right? But the thing is, also, what other way this business, there you go. Yeah,
Yes.
amazing. So it's still happening. One of the other things that this opportunity equalizes is time. We've talked about time a little bit tonight. When probably all of us, I'm not sure, I started this business part-time. I was working full-time on my job, and I was working part-time on Plexus. In about a year, my part-time Plexus job had exceeded my full-time job's pay.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the opportunity is humongous. Like, that is an equalizer. That levels the playing field. Then it didn't take long after that where my part-time Plexus gig became my full-time gig. I left that other job away, and I'm still working less hours now than I was at that full-time job. So the power of part-time, think about that with this opportunity. You can create more income and more opportunity through Plexus than you can a full-time job, and you can do it in a short period of time. The picture that Brenda just showed right there, that girl is now has an option to get a Lexus. She may not. That's totally up to her. She can go to Kona, Hawaii next year now, and she's probably making 6 figures, right at 100-ish grand, right? In 4.5 months. So even if it took 4.5 years, it'd be worth it. It'd be absolutely worth it.
Or 14.5.
Or whatever.
Really?
Yeah,
Think of, like,
exactly. So
the lifespan of a career.
Yeah.
That's how many years? Decades.
So the thing is, this opportunity is humongous. It's right here at your fingertips, but we have to take ownership of the opportunity. No one else is going to succeed for you. No one else is going to succeed for me. We got to get up in the morning. We got to get to work. That's what it takes. It takes action. We talked a little bit, someone was talking earlier about goals. Well, I'll get to that in a minute. As far as the opportunity, when do you start? I would say you start right after this call.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why wait? Like, give me your friends list. I'll call them. Like, I don't care. Like, whatever. I still have goals I want to hit, right? So, but the thing is, you start here and you start now. I had a guy call me a couple of weeks ago. He's like, hey, I need to quit drinking. I need to get in shape. I need to get healthy. And this is like a Monday. So Tuesday we're talking. And he's like, yeah, I think Saturday I'm going to quit drinking all this beer and partying. I drink until the sun comes up. I'm like, okay, well, that's a problem. Whatever. Moderation obviously does not happen here. And I'm like, why wait till Saturday? He's like, well, I have this thing Friday. And I said, you just want to go and do it on Friday night, don't you? Like, you don't want to quit. He's like, I do. I said, he's like, I want to get in shape. I said, well, start right now. I was like, what do I do? I was like, get off the phone and do 20 push-ups. And he's like, okay, I start right here and now. I'm like, well, and he started right then and there. He quit drinking right on the spot, and now just kind of mentoring the guy. He actually was the guy who signed up to get his gut straightened out tonight. So the thing is, though, he started right there, right then and right there, and I made him do that. Because if we keep pushing it off on this opportunity we have, it won't happen. So let's quit talking and let's start working. I think that's exactly what it takes. And real quick, as far as homework goes, I'll just say this. Goals was mentioned earlier, and I'm a big fan of setting goals. I think goals are extremely important, but without an action plan, they're worthless. Without a real action plan on how to achieve, it's kind of like saying, I'm going to go to Maui. Well, how are you going to get there? Well, I don't really know, but I'm going. You probably have to have a plan on how you're going to get there. What airline are you going to use? What time are you leaving? What time are you coming back? You have to have a plan in light of that. So homework that I have for you is set goals, whatever that is for you. Maybe it's gold, maybe it's senior gold, maybe it's whatever, senior silver, maybe it's silver. I don't know where you're at exactly, but write out your goals. But not only that, the homework is this: write out how you're going to achieve the goal. Like, how long are you going to work each day? What are you going to do in that 1 hour, 2 hour, 30-minute period of time? How many people are you going to reach out to? How many people does it take to add to your organization to hit that point goal that you have? Like, you have to be very specific on your action plan. Zig Ziglar says, if you aim at nothing, you'll hit it every time. So that could be a key word for the night, aim. This is about the third time we've heard the word aim. So you have to aim specifically at something. So the homework I would encourage you to do is put up an action plan for those goals, how you're going to achieve the goal. What steps are you going to take to hit that goal? If you don't know, reach out to your upline. If they don't know, reach up to their upline. And if they don't know, go all the way to Tarl and Alec. I mean, go up the chain of command until you get to someone who knows how to set a goal and put an action plan together. There's somebody out there that knows how to do it. So keep asking and get that thing figured out. And then it'll be amazing how much you'll see an improvement in your results to hit the goal. So anyway, that's all I've got to share. Megan's going to finish this up here.
All right. We're just going to close it out by encouraging everybody to take action. Okay.
Yep.
And just like Carissa said, we must have faith backed by action. So we're going to create a goal that we can make happen. So a tangible goal. We have a couple days left in the month. So what is your goal before the month closes out? Okay. Figure out what that is. If you've already hit your goal for the month, you reset it. Okay. If you feel like, oh man, I'm in that no man's land between ranks, we'll set a point goal. Mm-hmm. Or have you maximized the cash bonus for the 369 incentive? It can be that simple.
Set a goal for someone in your downline.
Uh-huh.
And help them achieve it. Keep doing that and you'll hit your goal every time. You can have, I think it was Zig Ziglar also said, you can have everything you want in life if you help enough other people get what they want. And so if you don't have a goal, help someone else set it and help them hit that, and you'll hit your goals.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So set a goal, figure out what organizational piece of your life you're going to get organized. We're going to do 3 to 5 reach outs to leaders in your life that you want to do this business with. Fearlessly ask them, okay? And then the last thing is we're going to all listen to Brooke Hemingway's Gold Mastermind call before our next call next Tuesday. So reminder, book study starts next Wednesday. So if you need a book, make sure you have commented on that post with your address so we can get that shipped out ASAP first thing tomorrow. And yes, there's 4 of those calls. You're going to be listening to the first one. So number 1.
And I'm not going to make anybody do push-ups either on the Wednesday night call. I don't think.
Okay, that's good.
Maybe.
We'll all righty. Well, thank you guys for being on. I hope this was helpful. We'll get the recording posted and we will see you all next week. Bye-bye.